Close your eyes, what do you see? Do you hold the light, or is darkness underneath? In your hands, there's a touch that can heal, but in those same hands is the power to kill. Are you a man or a monster? Are you a man or a monster? Are you a man or a monster? When you look at yourself, are you a man or a monster?
Chapter 17. Perseus. I didn't want to leave Legion today. I wanted to be with him. Something about him makes me feel so giddy inside, like a schoolgirl with her first crush. He has this smell that drives me insane. He's all I can think of. It's like we were supposed to be together. I was in a cab on my way home, and I started getting cramps in my stomach. It felt like I was dying. I reached in my purse and grabbed some aspirin. I took 3 to relieve the pain. It's probably that time of the month, I thought to myself. The cab pulled up to my house. I paid the cab driver and got out. There in the driveway was my worst nightmare. David. "Where were you?" David demanded. David came up to me and slapped me so hard I staggered backward. David reached for me, grabbing me by my hair and started dragging me up the driveway. I screamed and kicked. When we reached the door, David grabbed me by the throat. "You are supposed to be home. You belong to me," David said, slamming my head against the wall. "I got sick. I went to urgent care. I thought you said for me to stay healthy. You said I was allowed to go to the hospital. I texted you before I left," I said in tears. "You better not be lying. You know I get worried when I don't know where you are," David said, rubbing my cheek. "I know. I'm sorry," I said, apologizing. "You know I don't like hitting you, but you will obey me. Now tell me, why did you go to the hospital?" David said slyly. "I was having severe pain in my stomach. The doctors ran tests. They told me it's my menstrual giving me pain," I lied. "Well, let's get you inside and get you to bed then," David said, loosening up his grip. I nodded. I put the key in the door and opened it. I walked inside and my ears started ringing. David was on me, punching me in the face. "You little lying bitch. I went to urgent care and you weren't there. Where the fuck were you?" David said, slapping me. Glory and Andromeda came from the bedroom. Glory jumped on David, knocking him off me. "She's not a punching bag. Let go of her," Glory shouted. Glory and David squared up. Glory was ready to fight. This is not the first time Glory had to fight David off. Last time they went at it, it was nothing but a bloodbath. David looked over, saw Andromeda, and remained still. Glory was still in fight mode. There was something off about Andromeda. I didn't trust her, but whatever she was doing, David's eyes stayed glued on her. "Who are you?" David said sheepishly. "Andromeda, and you are?" Andromeda said seductively. David," he said, fumbling over his words. Andromeda got close and ran her finger down his chest. "Now, David, that's no way to treat a beautiful lady, is it?" Andromeda purred. "No, but my girlfriend won't give me what I need," David said in a trance. "And what does a strong, sexy man like yourself need?" Andromeda whispered in David's ear. "I need to get laid," David whispered back. "Maybe if you would ask nicely, you would get rewarded. Now, how do you ask?" Andromeda whispered. "Please," David said, still in a trance. Andromeda looked over to me. "Perseus, I will be using your room. You may want to stay outside," Andromeda said, grinning. Sure, go ahead, I said reassuringly. Andromeda beckoned David with her finger, and David followed her. Glory walked over to me, helping me up from the floor. I leaned in. What's going on? It's like he's hypnotized, I whispered. I don't know, but who the hell cares? It's working. Let her screw his brains out. This is crazy. She's doing something to him, Glory whispered. We went outside and sat in the back seat of Glory's car. You brought her here on purpose, didn't you? I questioned. Damn right I did. I just didn't know it was going to go down like this. I was using Andromeda to get David away from you. Maybe David will want her and leave us alone, Glory said, leaning up against my shoulder. Then I hope it works, I said with a sigh. But what I don't understand, David has tons of women. He gets laid every day. Why does he want you? Glory questioned. I have to tell you something. Something I never told you. David owns me. My family sold me to him. He will never let go of me. The other night, he auctioned me off to the Colombian Mafia. Now I belong to the Colombian cartels. David got millions for me. David is sending me to Colombia in a few months, I admitted. Shit, P. Why are you just telling me this now? Is this why you were talking about running? Glory said, clinging to me. Yes, Glory, I'm scared, I said, crying. You aren't going anywhere. I'll die fighting, Glory said, wiping my tears away. I have another confession. Last night, I went to the doctor's house. We're secretly dating, I whispered. No way. I thought something was going on because he stares at you like he wants to devour you. It's weird, Glory whispered. That huge palace we pass all the time when we go to the beach? It's his. Well, damn. Have you told Doc about David? Glory pointed out. No. I don't want him to dump me because of David. I think you should. I think he can keep us safe if we need to run, Glory whispered. Okay, I'll tell him tonight. I'll have him come over in the middle of the night. We can talk to him, I said, yawning. It started to rain. Glory and I curled up in the back seat of her car and fell asleep. I woke up to the sound of light taps on the window. It was Andromeda. I opened the door. Your boyfriend is gone, Andromeda smiled. How long have we been out here? I said groggily. About 3 hours, Andromeda said, smiling. Wow, I said in astonishment. Hey, what did you do to David? He was like entranced or something. I just have that gift, I guess. Andromeda smiled. Well, whatever you did, thank you. Do you want to spend the night? I questioned. No, I can't. I have to get back to the palace. Legion will wonder where I am. I'll see you later. Oh, okay. See you later, I said with a smile. A cab pulled up and Andromeda got in and left. Glory, wake up. They're gone, I said, shaking Glory. Glory woke up, rubbed her eyes. Good, let's go in. I'm hungry. Order pizza. Glory got out of the car and ran to the house. I got out and stood in the rain. I spread my arms out, letting the rain run off my fingertips.
Chapter 32. You have something that belongs to me. I was sitting in the living room when I felt off. I looked out the window and the clouds were rolling in fast. The sky started to rage as flashes of lightning went through the air. The sound of thunder roared. Perseus! I shouted. I took off my shirt as blood ran down my chest, arms, and legs. Helios, Walter, and Carver leapt to their feet at once. I clutched onto my body, falling to my knees, searing pain everywhere. Perseus is hurt! She's dying! I screamed. My eyes went red. My wings came out. I got up, went to a mirror. Perseus's mark was fading from my neck. I let out a roar so loud it shattered glass from the windows. I looked at Walter, Helios, and Carver. Carver, Walter, stay here to protect the women and children. No one in and no one out. I want this palace locked down. Helios, you're coming with me. I think your animal needs to come out. I need to find Perseus now, I shouted. Helios turned to Artemisia. Protect our son. I will be back.
Don't leave! That was the last thing my husband said to me, and he never came back,
Artemisia cried out. Love, I cannot die. I have to go. Keep the bed warm for me, Helios said, taking Artemisia into his arms. Helios kissed her hard and went to his son and kissed him. Helios looked at me, and I nodded. We took off like two thunderbolts. I followed the scent of my mate's blood. The scent led me to her favorite store. We heard sirens approaching, but still distant. I saw her car. Helios ran inside the store and came out shaking his head. I spotted a dark puddle on the ground 5 feet away from Perseus's car. I got on my knees and smelled it. It was Perseus's blood. Beside the puddle was a knife. I picked it up and smelled it. David! I shouted. Helios picked something up from the ground. Helios was holding Perseus's cell phone. Come on, baby. Leave me something, I thought. Helios handed me Perseus's cell phone. I put in her PIN code, and the message popped right up. She never had the chance to send it. I read the message.
David, Columbia, find me.
Good girl. She knew she was in trouble and left me a breadcrumb, I whispered to Helios. I heard screeching from around the corner. Get ready, I growled. I pulled out 2 Glocks from my waist holsters, and Helios pulled his out. I never leave the house without them. If I didn't have that agreement with the humans, I'd slaughter the humans with my bare hands. But for now, I do things the human way. For now. Helios and I stood shoulder to shoulder. 2 vans came to a screeching halt. The doors popped open, and men started to jump out of the vans, shooting at us. Bullets were flying everywhere, just bouncing off of us. I looked at Helios. He looked back at me, and we sauntered toward the vans. I raised my guns and began firing. Hit after hit. When I was empty, I popped the clip out, slid in a new one, and kept firing. David sends his regards, one of the men shouted. A bullet just bounced off my face. What the fuck are you? The man said, amazed. My eyes went red, and my wings came out. At this point, I didn't care anymore. I put one of the Glocks back in my waistband and ran up to the man, hoisting him up in the air. I am Legion. Where is my wife? I shouted in the man's face. Fuck you, he shouted. With one hand, I snapped his neck. 4 more men jumped out with machine guns, shooting at Helios. Helios ran up to the first shooter and punched him in the face, knocking out his teeth and shattering his jaw. Another shooter kept firing at me. I walked up to him, bending his gun in half. I picked him up. I want to know. Where is my wife? I snarled.
I don't know, man. David sent us to get rid of you,
the man said, terrified. Ignorant peasant. I cannot die. Where did he take her? I hissed.
Columbia! He left on a private jet. I swear I don't know anything else. I swear, man. Have mercy on me,
he pleaded. Mercy. Today is not the day for mercy, I laughed. I snapped the man's neck and dropped him. I looked at Helios as he was ripping someone's eyes from their sockets. Animal, I thought fondly. We heard sirens getting closer. We threw the bodies in the vans and torched them. Helios and I walked away from the vans as they were exploding behind us. "Columbia," I murmured. Helios nodded. I put my wings away, and we ran. We got to Columbia in 2 hours. The problem was, it took us 2 months to find her. Whoever took Briseis, the people were too afraid to talk. The irony is people should be afraid of me, until one day a little birdie decided to chirp. Helios and I were sitting in a bar wearing all black suits. I was tapping my fingers on the table. The humans looked at us with curiosity. They knew we had power and money. My informant came in very slowly and sat in a booth in front of us. "You're late," I whispered.
"Sorry, Legion. I have to be careful," the woman whispered. "What can I get for you?" the waitress asked in Spanish. "Shot of vodka," the informant replied. The waitress nodded and walked away. "Name," I whispered. "Manny," she whispered back. Helios and I stood up, walked past the booth where the informant was sitting, dropping an envelope as we went by. I knew who Manny was, and he knew me. I knew exactly where to go. I had to act quickly. I could barely feel Briseis anymore. She was slipping from me.
See the smoke rising in the distance. What would be the point of your resistance? Chaos all around you, there is nowhere left to run. Setting sun, and it's done. There is no light in the heat of the battle. Beware of the night that you find yourself in a fight for survival. Keeping your sights, all of your rivals. Beware of the night that you find yourself in a fight for survival. In a fight for survival. Keeping your sight, all of your rivals. Beware of the night that you find yourself in a fight for survival. A fight for survival. A fight for survival. Beware of the night that you find yourself in a fight for survival. In a fight for survival.